time for getting and a time for going and going.
And going, and going, and going, and going.
When you need a break, we're here, helping you make sense of all the good and the going of the holidays. Happy holidays from all of us at ubnradio.com.
Hi guys, it is Sunny Chayes, it's Singing in the Rain, it's the Power of One, and why can't every day be Christmas? That is the question we're going to ask today, and we're going to sing about it, we're going to talk about it, and I have three amazing people who are going to help me talk about it and sing about it and play about it and color about it. I have two incredible guests who are older than 5. One is Kuwana Halsey, and she wrote a book that I wish for everyone to read at some point. If I could have written the best book for a mom or for a kid to read about moms, I would have written this book. So thank God Kuwana did it for me, because she has much better writing chops than I do. And my other guest I'm having is a student from Cal Arts who has a beautiful heart, a beautiful everything inside and out. And her name is Skylar, and we're going to be entertaining you guys a little bit, or actually she is, and I'm going to join along with her. And so we're going to just be kind of talking about Christmas and what it all means to us. And we have our hot chocolate, we have our cookies, and we're going to just get down and do that. So without any further ado, let us get to Christmas. Why can't every day be Christmas? Christmas? Why can't every day be Christmas?
That's how Kingston says it.
Skylar. So let us bring Skylar on, shall we? Yahoo! Now, the reason that I did not say Skylar's last name, it might sound like a little rude that I didn't do that, and her mom is listening, so she's like, the last name. One of the other reasons I have Skylar on the show with me today is because many, many years ago, some of my very favorite Christmases in my life were spent with Skylar's mom. And so because today's kind of a mom and child and all of that, and presents and hot chocolate and cookies and all that, and tradition and family, it turned out so perfectly that Skylar luckily has a really good voice. Thank God. Thank you, Regan, for that. And also that she is the daughter of my great friend. And Regan and I used to sing all the time with our illustrious friends, who many have gone on to do great things in the music world, and it was just the best time. And so it is just such an honor, and my family's so thrilled that you're here with me, so yay. So I'm just going to do what I always did when Regan and I were together, and just have my guitar in my lap here. So I'll just get cozy and settle in for the show. So hi.
Hello.
Hi. So tell us anything you want to say. Why can't every day be Christmas? Or maybe it can.
Yeah, I think it can be. I think every day can be Christmas. I think that there's a lot of respect and love and joy on Christmas. That I also think people listen to each other a lot more on Christmas. And just being with your family, all of your family, is a wonderful way to ground yourself again and really remember who you are, where you came from, and what you want to be and what you want to do for the world and for yourself.
Nicely said, young person. Well, really, because, and so as far as what Christmas is, for you, tell me a time that, if you want to share, either a really great Christmas or a Christmas that was a challenge that maybe ended up being okay. And John, you can hear us okay? Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah. Well, I always have Christmas at my grandma's house. Mm-hmm. And my family and my mom's sister's family all come together for Christmas. And my grandfather passed away 3 years ago.
Wow, it's been that long.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And so the first Christmas that he was not present was a strange Christmas, but all the same, I think we were there for my grandma. Mm-hmm. And made up for the love that went to another place.
Yeah.
And I think
Your dad was so great. Of course, I knew him, and he was such a light, and he was such a sprite, and he was such a. There were just so many great things I can say about him, and I just adored him myself. And so I wondered how Christmas would be without him. I mean, he was really kind of the Christmas energy bunny bear and all that. So but life goes on, and I know he wanted you all to be together and have so much love and bring the grandkids together and eat and drink and be merry. And I think your grandmother went ahead and still had the tree and all that stuff. So life went on.
Yes. Most definitely.
That way.
He was not forgotten, but
No, that will
all.
never happen.
No,
that will never happen.
Of course not.
You know, that happens. I know that with Christmases, I heard something really great. A lot of us may know Garrison Keillor, the one who's had Prairie Home Companion for about 35 years. And I heard him speaking about Christmas on the show a couple weeks ago, and he was saying he was recounting these beautiful Christmases with his mom and how his mom just loved Christmas and the food and the presents and how much work she put into it and what just how much it was for him, and I mean for her, and what she created. And he said that he feels like, he said, I've had Christmases in airports. I've had Christmases with, having a TV dinner. I've had him having a Subway dinner, just all different things. And he said, I feel like because of what my mom gave me, that I'm sort of have this portable Christmas with me. And I thought, whoa, that is so cool. Because I think a lot of us try to recreate that young time when we're a little kid, and it's the magic. And it's, it can work in a way that makes people sad and sort of just like, whoa, what is Christmas? Like Charlie Brown and Linus, I feel sort of sad. What is the meaning of Christmas? So I think it's so important to realize that we're going to be, whatever we do this year is going to be memories next year and the year after that. So we can shake it up and we can do it differently too, right? I think so. So what do you think about that?
I completely agree. I think every year it's different because, we grow every year. So we're different people when we meet back up with our families. And we have new views of the world and views of people. And I think the most important thing is to share that of yourself with the people that you love. And share your new views and discoveries and what you love, what you're angry about, what you're hurt by, and start a conversation about what you care about and what you've dealt with.
I love that. And also, let's all, people, if we can, when we meet up with our family or our friends or whoever it is that we're gathering around with, shall we just make like a little declaration that we're going to just take a deep breath and let them be like, especially if we haven't seen them in a little bit, like let them be new to us, or let them be present with us, let them be who they are with us. Can we do that, guys? Can we say yes to that? Yes. Because I think that's something that happens with families too. It's like, oh my gosh, you've always been fill in the blank, or you've never done fill in the blank. And it's like, I think that's something that we want. We all want to grow, and we all want to, kick it up a notch and be more authentic to ourselves. I think especially these days that we're just really getting that that's such an important thing to do. Well, you were talking about your dad, and who we all adored so much. And my dad was a young Jewish man at one point, but we all celebrated Christmas too, and in a big, huge way, actually. And he wrote this song called "Why Can't Every Day Be Christmas?" And that's why I named the show that, because I love that question so much. And he wrote it in '86. And I didn't even know about it until about 6 years ago, and I discovered it. Excuse me, my stepmom gave me the sheet music and was like, well, this is really cool. And I put it by my tree as a decoration. And then I was singing at Unity in Marin up north, and I thought, wait, what is this? So I ended up checking it out and singing it up there for the people. And it became Sonny's dad's song, actually. But people came up to me after, and they were like, oh, my dad, this and that and everything. So I love this song, so I'm hoping you'll sing it with me.
Yes.
I know this is sort of, I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, but so this is not polished, people, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to just play around with "Why Can't Every Day Be Christmas" by Stuart Chayes in 1986. And this goes out to my family, too.
Yeah.
why can't every day be Christmas?
Christmas.
Every day be merry.
Merry.
Every day be one that's of good cheer.
Good cheer.
Why can't every day be Christmas?
Christmas.
Every day be jolly. Every day be one that's free from fear. There are children who are homeless, who are frightened and alone, who may dread the chilling darkness of the night. There are nations that are fighting, young men who may die, who may never see the dawning's early light. Ooh. Let's make every day a Christmas. Every day be merry. Every day be one that's of good cheer, good cheer. Let's make every day a Christmas throughout and all the year, so that folks will love another, treat each other like a brother, and deck the halls with gladness to be here. Bum 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 bum. Merry Christmas, people.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Skylar. My dad always did that in such a jazz way, I heard later. I never, as I say, never even knew it, and then I found out later it was like a smoky kind of thing with the piano and the bass and stuff. So, but a little kind of country this time. So anyway, thank you. Hi, Regan. I know you're going to see this. So speaking of moms and dads and kids and all that, I must bring on my next guest, who is 5 years old, and I'm sure his mom is going to want to be talking too. And this is, do we have the camera on him yet, John? Well, let's just put it on him because he's so cute already. This is Kingston Halsey. Hi, Kingston Halsey.
Halsey Tyler.
And, what's his last name?
Tyler.
Halsey
Tyler.
Okay, thank you for that correction.
Yes.
And this is his brilliant, beautiful mom who wrote the best book ever, Kuwana Halsey. Just Kuwana Halsey. Or do you go with Tyler too, with Corey?
Yes.
Some-
When he gives me the evil eye like this, I go, hey, Kuwana Halsey, Tyler. I like my maiden name. But
I like it. I know what
yeah.
you mean. I held on to Chayes myself. So while we are chatting, let us pass cookies. I know Kingston's totally in the mood for cookies. So Kuwana, you've been listening to our conversation. I want you to just jump in and just say whatever you want to say at this point.
I love.
Those are tasty. Go for it. You can have one. Go for it. Yay.
I love that question about can every day be Christmas? Because I think, of course, absolutely, but I think it's less about the sentiment. I think people are very sentimental around Christmas and the holidays. And when you talk about extending that feeling of love and connection and togetherness, you talk about extending that beyond, January 2nd, I think it's more about a spiritual discipline.
Yes, yes.
And becoming aware in the moment, as you were talking about, of seeing people, all the people around you anew every day, and giving them the chance to grow and become more and become better and become more of who they really are in your presence, and understanding that that takes work. It's not a sentimental, woo-woo feeling kind of thing. It's about, an everyday,
Practice,
a moving discipline, a moving meditation in your daily life of being present with whatever is.
Whatever's present with you at the time.
Whatever's
going on. For you people on radio, we're just laughing at Kingston because he's just so cute.
Yeah.
So I want to read something from your book, page 3. I can read about 17 things in here or more. I mean, there are 276 pages in here, I think, and I could find something on every single page. But this is one thing that I just really loved, having to do with moms. And I do want to thank you so much. You gave this to me to give to my niece who's having her first child, Erica, and she just loved what you wrote to her, and she just loved this little. I read this actually at the baby shower, and I just love this, so I want to share this with you guys. It seems that there's a tribe in Africa where the first time a woman leaves home following the confinement period after giving birth, everyone she meets along the road greets her with a sacred song, otherwise reserved for warriors returning from battle. She's honored as having lived through a rite of passage that will forever mark her womanhood as abundant and powerful and blessed. She's respected as a fully franchised member of the most ubiquitous and yet most extraordinary group of beings in our collective experience, mothers. Amen to that. I love that so much. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and just throughout the show I may add a few little things to that with this with this book. But so exactly, don't you think? You do, because you wrote it.
Yes, I absolutely agree. I think that we as women can tend to downplay our power and our brilliance and our uniqueness, and I think that especially applies to the work of being a mother. And we don't really own how magnificent we are in this process.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to, you look at the babies and they're so cute and you're like, oh, they're just perfect, and not necessarily looking at ourselves in the mirror in the same way.
No,
a lot
absolutely.
of times. And we absolutely are. They came from us, so how could we not be?
That's right. One of the things that I loved about this book is your really honest portrayal, and in my opinion, I agree with a lot of what you said in the book about the process of being pregnant, of childbirth, of mothering, and the process of that. And one of the reasons that I would love everyone to read this book is because I feel that you really touched very appropriately into the feelings, the permission to allow each mom to tune into our own way. And
Yes.
it is super, super important. And it's like the snowflake. There are no two other relationships, even when you have another child and you're the mom, that you have. And you now just found this out
Yes.
a couple years ago. And I found this out when I had my second child. It can be very humbling, too, having that second child. It's like, ooh, I'm doing this so well. I'm like the best mom ever. And then that second child comes along. It's like, okay, I got
Starting all
get my
over again.
yeah right
Okay.
right sharpen those mommy chops and play a new tune here. But I really, really appreciate that, because I feel that in our society there are a lot of how-to books, and there's also the pressure from in-laws or just people having their judgment about what we should do. And the truth is, as you and I talked about on the phone, D.W. Winnicott, who was a pediatrician and a psychoanalyst, was discussing and touring all over Europe in the 50s and 60s and saying to doctors and nurses, get out of the way of the mother.
Yes.
And this is right. I mean, Skylar's like, whoa, because, that is really, and think that was way back then. And we're still kind of grappling with that. People go to pediatricians like they are the God, because we don't know. We leave that hospital with that 2-day-old baby. We're like, help us, help us. And unfortunately, the pediatrician gets maybe a half an hour on every single thing we call about. Like, what do we do about? Well, they really don't know. They just give it their best shot. But, so listening to ourselves is and the self-care. So I'm kind of throwing a lot at you right now, but
Yeah, I mean, there's so much in what you just said. I mean, and starting with, us trying to we want to do it, quote unquote, right. Like there is some kind of right way. And, from what I've seen and experienced, I know that is absolutely not true. There's no such thing as right way or wrong way. I think
it shifts along the way too.
It completely shifts because the baby's shifting. The baby's shifting from an infant into a toddler, into a child. Their needs are changing. Your needs are changing. You're all growing. You're becoming different people. So what worked, 6 months ago may not work right now.
That's right.
And I think that's what it's all about, finding what works, as opposed to being chaining yourself to an idea of right and wrong, and this is the right way, so this is what should work. This worked for my cousin down the street, with her 6 children, it should work for me. And getting stuck there, even if whatever it is, is not for you.
Right.
And just recognizing that we have mother's intuition for a reason. It's
a very, very important reason. And I think that's sometimes when I connect with tribes and people who live much closer to the earth in ways of food and just the nurturing earth in one's hand. There is something that ends up being a much more primal and connected, right?
Yeah, I think connected is the perfect word. The people are interconnected
in many ways, not just the way that we throw around, let's be connected, but in many, many deep ways.
Yes, and spiritually, physically, emotionally, there's just a different understanding around the word connection.
And connected to ourselves.
Connected to the self, and connected to the earth and nature. Just a different idea. I think here in our culture, in Western culture, we exalt the idea of independence. Yeah. And there are many wonderful things about us being able to be independent and make our own choices, and not have the whole weight of the community on every choice that we make, because it's expected that we are able to find our own voice in our own way and do our own thing. And on the flip side of that, I think we have kind of lost our way in terms of being able to be connected to each other, to the wisdom of the community, and being able to take part in the generational wisdom that is passed down. And I think it's passed down literally, orally, if we have grandmothers or great grandmothers, but it's also passed down through the DNA. It's passed down through who we are. And what we know, that mother's intuition that comes through us, is coming from somewhere. It's not just magically appearing. It comes from somewhere. And I think the more we listen and the more we learn about these connections, the more powerful we know ourselves to be.
I think it's about the allowing. And I remember that when I had little munchkins this age, or 2 or 3 even, and I was running my own business, and I took them with me, I was like papoosing all the time. And people were, I had the areas of judgment, you should put them in daycare. And it's like, well, no, that's not happening. But there were times when I would think, oh my gosh, how am I going to get any work done? And then finally Chandler would go to sleep for 2 hours, and I would get more done in 2 hours than I used to get done in 8. Yes. So there was that too. That was really fun. Kingston, do you want to say anything? Or no? Not yet. Okay, well, we'll keep you on standby. So Skylar, I want to ask you about you're not a mom yet, but you have been mothered, and so and grandmothered, and so chime in.
Yeah. I think there's nothing like a mom or a grandma going off of intuition and connectivity. I think that there are a lot of stories to be told and a lot to be learned by what has happened in your family, and I don't know, just love, just being loved and loving. And I think that we learn how to love from our parents and from our moms, and that's why I think it's important to give as much as you possibly can, and it's very important.
I mean, it's so cool to be sitting with you right now, because I remember, my experience of your mom was when we were 14, 15, 16, and you're at the age of like, I see so much of your mom in you. Like, there are little laughs you do and little things that you do that are just like, whoa, wait, was that Regan? Is she in the room? And it happens. I know that with my kids who never met my dad. They have little affectations and little things that are just like my dad and my mom. You know, in my case, my mom died when I was 10. So I didn't have a mom, I felt. And even before that, she was sick and not really available. So she was in the house and she was with us, but she had 6 kids. So she was sort of managing all these people. And I was pretty autonomous at a young age. So I didn't want to be a bother. That was sort of my thing. It was like, deal with the other people because I'm okay. Then I realized later that was sort of sad for me. You know, there are moments where I'm like, ooh, boy, I really went the other way with being mothering. I'm like, oh, it's okay, I don't need it. Well, actually, I kind of did. Yeah. So now I'm working on it from this vantage point, which is sort of an interesting process, let me tell you.
I think that's one of the most amazing things about being a mother is the opportunity to reparent ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
And to really take those moments that I think I had a lot of traumas and things that happened when I was younger, and to be able to now take those moments and take the child who I was and be able to walk her through that, and to be able to show her, whether it's through meditation or learning to break patterns in my life, whatever that looks like, I'm able to kind of, hold that child in my mind's eye and show her a new path in a way that I wish I had had a woman to guide me. I mean, my mother was present, but, she wasn't, really, involved in, that kind of spiritual walk or anything like that. So, we're from the Bronx, and she was more like, hey, get up, get out, you're fine, gotta move on. So I had always wished that I had that type of guidance. And I recognize now that, I can't have that. I can give that to myself and really experience a profound change in my life, and not only how I'm able to relate to them on a completely different level, but then how I'm learning to relate to myself with much more compassion and understanding.
I love that. Well, so people who are hearing this show, this is Christmas Eve, and tomorrow will be Christmas Day, and so people will be gathering around and having their moments with people and enjoying and all that stuff. And so people will be with moms and grandmothers and dads and kids and all that. And again, like we were saying at the beginning of the show, to really be able to allow ourselves also to, just be there and just allow it and see what happens. Let's have this be an experimental Christmas and do something kind of different this year. Shake it up a little bit in a good way, people, shall we? I mean, that would be kind of fun. Because I know in my family there's certain things that people think I'm like, and I've always been. And I'm thinking, well, not really. Or I've kind of moved past that, or I'm doing that deeper or that bigger or whatever it is. And so I'm kind of bringing that to my Christmas this year.
Yeah. And you never know where people are in their journey, what's going to affect them in a certain way. And so to be very mindful about, and perceptive too. I think you have to really listen in that.
Ooh, totally. Like this little tree here, I said on the show last week that I decided I wasn't going to necessarily, I'm an environmentalist and I wanted to be as conscious as possible. I always am, but, this year I was kind of feeling like I don't know if I'm going to do the tree and the, everything the big way, that way. And so I thought, okay, I'm just filling my house with roses, and then I may hang stuff like this. So see, guys, I started this. I said I was doing this, so I brought it here to show you. I'm starting it already. This is a vase actually, this isn't even a vase. This is a beautiful water pitcher, but I just threw all this stuff in here because we're shifting it up this year. That's what we're doing. But yeah, so it's kind of like that. And the things I end up doing and the people I end up seeing and stuff will be, it'll, for all of us, it'll be new because everyone will be new and we will be new. And the New Year's coming and, like that. So do you guys have any special ritual that you do on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day that you like? Or do you, Kuwana? This is a live show. I just really throw out questions that nobody knows what I'm going to ask.
I don't have anything. I've been sitting with that
You
for
get to
a while.
create it because you're the mom.
Exactly.
You get to do it now.
Every year we just do something a little different. We just throw it against the wall and see what sticks.
Yay.
So far so good. As long as there's presents in the morning.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Yeah, right.
Anything other than that, I just get to play with.
Right,
you know?
right, yeah.
And I've always loved the Christmas holiday because for me it's like a whole month and a half of celebration because it's, you know, Thanksgiving and then my birthday's the week after and then I love it. And then there's Christmas and then New Year's, and so I just take this whole time as like one big celebration. So and like you, I've moved around a lot, and so, you know, there hasn't been that whole idea of, well, every December 24th we get together and drink eggnog at 6:03. Like I've never had that.
Not at all.
So, you know, now it's like, okay, well, what do we want it to be? You know, and just seeing how that works out.
Yeah, I think it's just great to do that. And sometimes I know in my family, sometimes with my extended family, my brothers and sisters, I have a bunch of them, and it's like, okay, but we are eating this food. You know, like we are, you know, this kind of thing is happening. Yeah. And if something does end up being a little different, you know, feathers get ruffled, and it's like, okay, wait, no, we're opening our presents on Christmas Day. Well, no, let's just, you know, people are traveling, let's do a Christmas Eve. So, you know, this kind of thing. Like that used to happen to me. And so I had, but, you know, then we work with it, right? So in high school, we had so many people coming from here and there, so it changed to we're going to be doing it Christmas Eve, and I was like not feeling that at all. So I had my little tree in my bedroom, and all my friends' presents that we exchanged with all went under that. So Christmas morning, I had my little Christmas morning opening fun and games, you know. But right, so we work it.
Yeah.
We can work it. We can work it. Like this little tree, I don't know if we see it. Some on one of the, but that's actually a live little tree. So I decided, okay, I'm buying, with you know, candy on it, or something got on it, I guess, from all of our decorations. But yeah, that's going to be replanted. So that's what I decided to do this year.
Oh,
and
that's nice.
yeah, and it's very alive, and it'll go somewhere that's. Yeah, thank you for cleaning it up. I think I got some of Santa's beard on it or something like that.
Exactly.
But yeah, the idea of giving to and receiving. Okay, let's talk about receiving for a moment. Okay, Kuwana, go. I feel you speaking.
Yeah.
I feel words coming from you.
I remember hearing one of the ministers at Agape speak one time, Reverend Nirvana, and someone was asking him, a woman was asking about, she was saying how she had so much trouble receiving from people, and she was saying how she could give all day long to everyone in her life. She was the go-to person, but when someone tried to give back to her, she would, you know, freeze up. She couldn't accept it. And he says, well, okay, exhale. Take a deep breath. Now exhale. And she exhaled all the way out, and he said, okay, stay there. And I got that.
Yeah.
I got that. He's like, you can't live if you're not part of the reciprocity of life. So
Nice.
you're not doing anyone any favors by not receiving back that which you've already put out into the universe.
Yeah.
I like that. What were we going to say,
No,
Skylar?
yeah, I was just gonna say, it just reminds me back to the Christmas Eve traditions. We always have a Christmas Eve dinner, and growing up, my grandmother would always, you know, cook the meal, and she wouldn't let anyone in the kitchen, and she wouldn't let anyone clean up, and it just reminds me, you know, you also can't force someone to receive. You know what I mean? They really have to decide on their own that they want to, you know. And we're territorial about certain things, about traditions, and how we are and who we are. So you know, that's also that you got to recognize that and be like, okay, do your thing, and I'm not gonna go into the kitchen. I'm not gonna.
Absolutely. I think that there's a nice test though to see whether, you know, you are having trouble receiving or whether it's just one of those things that you like to do. I think at the end of the day, like if you've done all the cooking and the cleaning and you've done everything, do you feel depleted?
Right.
Yeah.
Or do you feel energized?
Right, and
Right.
is that
You
a
know?
thing that you actually enjoy doing?
Did you just enjoy doing that?
Yeah, and I think
You know?
I think she does. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean,
True.
in that specific one, you know, there's a lot of different stuff that goes on with that. Like I know in different people, you know, that it can be a control thing or this or that. But the other thing I want to talk about as far as receiving goes is people, let's just when we open the box and it's a red sweater and we've told the person we don't look good in red or whatever, like just get over it because they forgot or they wouldn't have bought it for you. And so can we just can we just be happy about our gifts, people? Can we decide we're going to do that too? And it doesn't mean, it may not be our size or our scent or the book we want to read or whatever. But I think that sometimes we put more on it, like, okay, well, they don't know me well enough, or they didn't hear me, or they didn't listen to me, blah, 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 blah. And it's really not true. I don't think. Maybe there's the odd, case of that. But I think in general, we put too much on that. And we're all trying our best, right? When we give a gift, we try our best. We don't always know. And I know I have 2 sons who are, it's very hard because they're very specific about what they wear and their electronics I don't really understand. And, I don't drink. So when I go to, not because I'm in AA, people, I just have never been into it. Clear that up.
Clear the air.
I just never really had a taste for it. But so if I go to a party or something, I won't bring wine. Because I'm not good at that. But I'll bring something for their kids, let's say, which moms and dads love that. That's another great gift at Christmas. If you don't know what to do, bring something for the kid. Believe me, that, right? Am I right about that?
Yes.
So true, huh?
Yes, it is.
But yeah, the giving and the receiving, and again, the being filled up ourselves, and going into it with that little girl or little boy kind of healed up because maybe there is that stuff about not getting enough at some point at Christmas. So there's, kind of that feeling of there's never enough or whatever. And I think that can kind of, play its little tune out there sometimes. And
yeah, I absolutely agree. And I think it, as we kind of grow up and we're the adults now and, the perspective changes, or hopefully the perspective changes. And, we start to recognize that for most of us, we have more than enough.
Yeah.
There's nothing we need Christmas morning.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that we receive is overflow.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to be grateful when you know that it's coming from the overflow of your life and the overflow of the love of the people that are around you.
Yeah. I think giving gifts, one thing I like to do is give something that maybe they wouldn't think of giving themselves, and maybe even something that's a dinky bit of a stretch. Like I remember one year I gave Marianne Williamson art supplies.
Oh, that's awesome.
For you who don't know her, she's a author and is very in her head. So she's in her heart too. But she's actually an artist too. But it was just like the most random gift. And when she opened it, she was kind of like, what the bleep is this? And then it's kind of soaked in and she was like, whoa, this is so fun. And come over and paint with me. And it was just, so like kind of shaking it up a little bit that way. So that gives you some ideas, I hope, people. Even though you have, 9 hours or whatever to get those gifts for those people. But so what about you, Skylar? What do you guys do in your house? Does everybody give gifts, or what do you do?
Yeah, everyone does give gifts.
Nice.
My immediate family, we exchange gifts from Santa the day of early morning, and then my mom's sister's family comes over, and my grandma's there, and we all exchange family gifts.
Oh.
And we have like chips, and it's really fun and good conversation, and yeah, it's awesome.
Well, I'm so now Kingston, young person Kingston, who's with us here. Now he's actually the star of everything I needed to know to learn from my 6-month-old, because he was a baby then, but now he's a 5-year-old guy. So what do you think about all this Christmas stuff? Do you want to say anything to us, or just eat cookies? You can do either one.
Eat cookies.
Okay.
But do you love Christmas?
Yeah.
What do you love the most about Christmas?
Getting presents.
Okay. That was easy. I should have known that.
Oh my gosh. So, Kingston, do you have anything? Let me think. What's something that you really love to do around this time too? Do you guys do anything, like, do you go and see Santa, or do you go around and do stuff? What do you do? Do you go to Agape and do stuff there?
Yeah. Yeah. And you went to see Santa too? Yeah.
Okay, a mouthful of cookie. And, now he's, okay, I think we're moving to the candy cane.
Okay.
Yes, if it's okay with Mom, you can have it. Or you can take it home for later. Either one you want. It's all up to you. We have
This is your piece now.
Okay, we're
guy.
candy caning here.
We're
now.
candy
This is
caning.
a good thing. This is a very good thing. So we're a lot of stuff is going to go.
Here.
Excuse me.
Uh-oh. There we go.
Much. So this is also a time where we get into the giving, the receiving. I love what you said, Skylar, about being with the family and the love and not really knowing who's going to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Figuratively and literally sometimes. Right?
Yeah, do you have a boyfriend? Like, no. Not yet.
Yes, who's coming down the chimney? Or
Exactly.
One of my favorite things to do was always, and for my kids, was the stockings.
Oh, yeah.
That's
stockings
fun.
are great.
I think the stockings are, I know in our family we had so many kids and my mom did a little bit of the stocking thing, but it was more about the present, more about the bigger presents. But for my kids, I felt like it was really, the stocking was the most significant thing. And they would come downstairs and everything was all set up and everything, and then they'd sit on the couch and open their stockings, and it was fun. It's like that special stuff you can put in there. Kingston, do you get a stocking at Christmas? Does Santa put stuff in a stocking for you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool stuff goes in there.
Yeah.
Is that one of your favorite things, or do you like the stuff under the tree, the presents under the tree?
Under the tree.
Aha. Okay.
That's where he likes the big stuff.
Yeah,
That's
the big
where
stuff.
The big stuff goes. Like for the past 3 months, every night we say our thank yous, our thank you prayers, and say, what are you grateful for at the end of every day? And for like the past 3 or 4 months, he'll say, I am thank you for Santa Claus, and because Santa knows that I want a go-kart for Christmas.
That's pretty big. That's pretty big.
He's been priming the pump for like
Ah.
a really long time.
Gotta get those
Now,
thank yous
Kingston
out
is
there.
now. Have you talked to Santa about your little brother? Like, if you're, are you kind of preparing Santa to bring stuff for your little brother? That's
no,
a
all
no.
the presents go to me.
That's a no.
You have to hope that Jack C gets some presents, because otherwise he's going to be playing with all of your presents.
That's so true. Yeah, that's so true. Oh my gosh. So I want to talk just a little second about your book also. If you are irritated by every rub, how will you ever be polished? I love that. Lesson number 3. I mean, there's so many great things in this book. I love this one also. By Alana Van Zandt. My cup runneth over. What comes out of the cup is for y'all, but what's in the cup is mine. I've got to keep my cup full. So that's sort of what we were talking about with kind of knowing what the truth is about ourselves. I think that's the thing. And back to with your grandma, just sort of keeping everybody out of the kitchen. It may have been that she doesn't see you that much. It's her gift to you. She just wants you to relax and chat amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
As they say on Saturday Night Live, and
No, yeah, it's always like, Grandma, let us help you. And she's like, no, it's just the thing that always happens.
Yes. And at some point, she'll probably, it may even be this year, she may say, okay, Skylar, come in and, chat with me while we dry the dishes or something, We'll see what happens with that. Exactly. Okay, Kingston, what do you want to say to me? Anything?
He just wanted another question.
Oh, I see. You want another question. I see. Well, so now, do you make a list of what you want, or do you thank Santa after? And how do you do all that Christmassy stuff? And then you speak into that black thing in front of you, the microphone.
So, do you make a list? You make yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Then you put everything on the list for you and your brother? Yeah?
Yeah.
Or do you ever sometimes say, Santa, whatever you think that I may like that I haven't thought of?
No, he's very specific.
I see.
You can
I see. No. So do you help make a list for your brother?
No.
I know. When I asked that question, he gave me this sort of like, what? What?
His little brother is still, he's at that phase where he wants to do everything he sees Kingston
Oh,
do.
yeah. That's not going to
So-
change anytime soon, by the way. Really. I have 2, and that's, yeah, just get ready. Whatever you do, you are the coolest in the world to him. And anything and everything you do, good, bad, or indifferent, he's going to be doing. So just be prepared for that one.
Yes. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah, that's what goes on. So you found your mothering experience different having 2. Yeah.
Very different, but it's interesting how, when I had one, I was always like, oh, this is so tiring. Oh, this takes up all of my energy. Oh, da 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 da. And then you have the second one, and you just make whatever that adjustment is. And now I look back at the days when it was just him, and I was like, whew, that was a breeze.
Yeah.
What was I thinking?
Yeah.
What was I complaining about? That's nothing. You know?
Yeah.
It's just amazing how we're just able to adjust, as life shifts.
Yeah.
We shift. And
Exactly.
so a lot of, I think, the thoughts or the worries or the doubts or the things that we have going on, the things that we have going on are not based in reality. In reality, we're able to adapt and change as we need to.
Yes.
when we give ourselves the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, and a lot of the things that you said in your book, which I really agree with so much and resonate with, as we said, that's good. We're going to have new words for that in 2015. But the being with it, knowing, learning from our children. Your title is Everything I Needed to Know I Learned from My 6-month-old. So I think that was really true with me too. There was so much I learned about myself, and with the tagline, Awakening the Unconditional Self-Love in Motherhood. So I think that's so important. I love that. As a matter of fact, that's what got me to read the book. It was on my counter for a little bit, and then I read that, and I was like, I think I need to dive into this. And you really deal with that in a very deep and convincing way, and in a way that's such permission to connect with what feels right, and also telling the truth. I think that's the most important thing for all of us in anything and everything, and all of what we're doing is to tell the truth, because to ourselves about how it works.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, I got this little tree that's a live tree that someday that will be a big tree, and it's not a big tree now, but that's okay. Someday it will be. Its memory of this Christmas will be, I was a little tree then, and now I'm a big tree. Giving ourselves a permission to know what really works for us, and what we can handle. And then also with having kids, this too shall pass. It's a great, that again from the Why Can't Every Day Be Christmas, Dad Stuart Chayes would say that to me, and I remember using that a lot, because sometimes you're in the thick of something and you think, oh my gosh, I'm just about to go out the door, and then but I'm late for a meeting, and then the baby has the diaper, and then I forgot that I have to warm the bottle, and it's like, Calgon, take me away. But then it all falls together. And that's what's so awesome about having kids, because working with all that all the time is so spiritually. It's like sharpening the knife to make, or the pencil.
Yeah. Moms are so powerful too.
Yeah.
If we're talking about power, there's just so much. Don't mess with a pregnant woman or a woman with a baby. There's so much about females with kids that is just so. It's just so. Something about it, you gain, I think, you kind of just are a little bit more part of the earth. I don't know. That's how I see my mothers.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think that's at the essence what's happening. You're being grounded in an entirely different way. You're being grounded to the earth and the elements, and to put it in that language, and to your past and your traditions, and also to the future. So
and the challenge. You're not. That's the other thing with knowing that life is not. Complacency is not necessarily our friend.
Yeah.
It's about pushing it a little bit all the time. I think that's what makes life really interesting. That's what keeps us vital. That's what keeps us young. That's what keeps us, or I like to use the word vital better than necessarily young. to really hold on, or not even hold on to that. See, you know, it's like all the time we're reframing our words. We're constantly listening to what we say and then shifting them. At least I'm doing that, even on the radio all the time and on this show. But yes, to just keep it, it is a challenge. It's not an easy, you know, signing up to be a mom is not an easy thing.
Right, and obviously I don't have any children, so it's easy
But it's
for me to sit
okay
here and be like,
because-
you all are so cool.
What? We have 1 minute?
Really?
Oh my gosh, we are really? Oh my gosh, I thought we had
Wow.
longer than 1 minute. What am I thinking? I'm looking at the show and I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, so we're going out to, I'm going to let John give us 1 more minute. So thank you guys so much for being here. Kuwana Halsey
Thank you.
and Kingston and Skylar. Now, Skylar, say your last name.
It's Hamblen.
Skylar
Hamblin, because I was going to say Burn, but it's not Burn. So
No.
we're going to go out to a little bit of a little John Lennon. So we have to sing those. So this is Christmas, and anybody who wants to join in, just join in with us, and we're out. So Merry, Merry Christmas, everyone. We'll be back next year, and until then, why can't every day be Christmas? And just make it so. So we're just going to go out to this. Why not? So this is Christmas. And what have you done? Another year over and a new one begun.
So this is Christmas. I hope you have fun. The near and the dear ones, the old and the young.
A very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I hope it's a good one without any fear. A very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I hope it's a good one without any fear. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Bye-bye.